Yo guys, my name's Tyne and I'm in Nepal right now, but I really wanted to shoot this video out here in these mountains in the Langtang region because it's just so beautiful. So I actually wanted to talk about how I found freedom on the path less traveled. And that really started when I left high school, worked the summer, and then on September 5th, I had bought a one-way ticket to India, and that was going to be the beginning of my rite of passage, which I was creating for myself because I could feel that I wanted to become something in my life. I wanted to do something more than what was normal or typical, and I knew that I couldn't just stay inside my childhood. I couldn't just stay inside my comfort zone, and I had to do something and give myself an experience that would change me forever. And so I left and I flew to southern India, and I spent a couple weeks there, and I was having some of the highest highs and some of the lowest lows, and overall great memories and learning a lot of things. But I realized in my experience that I had so much going on in my mind. There were so many doubts and limiting beliefs and voices telling me, that I'm not worthy, or that I'm not enough, or that I can't do this, or that I should give up. So many of these voices and negative thoughts that were coming up and clouding my mind and keeping me drained. And so I didn't feel as good as I wanted to. And I kind of knew it was there, and I was trying to work with it, but I was also like, I want to do so much, and I want to go out and do all these things and go, and I kind of burnt out a little bit, and I learned a lot through that process. But what I realized was, I had all this external freedom. I was more free than I had ever been in my life. I had money saved up, and I could go anywhere in the world if I just bought a flight, and I could just go and be there. And yet I didn't feel free. I didn't feel free at all. And it was because I wasn't internally free. Although I was externally free, if that's a thing, I had no freedom internally, and I had kind of imprisoned myself in this cage of my own mind. And that was really hard for me. And it's not something that I've perfected or anything, but I've cultivated and learned how to practice taking care of my own mind and everything that's going on in here, because it's actually a really creative and powerful tool to use. And the problem is that when we don't use it as the servant it is, as the tool it is, and then we become the servant to it, the slave to it. So when I realized this, it was around the same time as I had been signing up I was in northern India now, in Dharamsala, which is where the Dalai Lama is, and a lot of Tibetan refugees and amazing people. And it's, in my opinion, pretty much the best place you can go in India. And I had spent a few weeks going in and out of that general area, and I had met the Dalai Lama on my 19th birthday, or I wouldn't say met, but he was closer to me than this camera is. And there's this meditation center there called Tushita, which if you ever go to India, please have that experience and go there, because it's really well done there, and you'll have an amazing experience just like I did. So I realized that my mind was draining me, and all these negative thoughts were holding me back, and I needed to do something about that, but I couldn't just keep running away from it. And somebody has once told me that whatever you run from is going to chase you, that whatever we avoid is going to keep showing up. So of course, although I wasn't consciously, I wasn't conscious of it at all. I was just kind of doing my thing, trying to just keep going, seeing new places, learning and having new experiences. But I had to really take that time, and I had to take that 10 days of just sitting and meditating and just being with myself for the first time that I, ever up until that point. And it allowed me to actually observe those thoughts coming in and watch them just slowly pass like clouds. And it brought me so many insights, and that's where I realized that external freedom means nothing if we are not internally free. And we can't be internally free if we don't take care of our minds, if we don't cleanse our minds. So I just wanted to share this because it points to a deep truth for me, that all of our problems and our challenges in life are rooted deep inside of us, that they don't really exist externally, and that life is so much more. Everything that we're seeing and our complete experience of the world is completely based on how we are inside and our internal condition. And if we don't look at that, then we're not going to live very amazing external lives. And the people who don't choose to look at that and who choose to live unconsciously, they live an unconscious life, and they create a bunch of things that they might blame externally, but it doesn't lead to a satisfied, fulfilling life as long as we're pointing our fingers externally. But the second we can start, cultivating the habit of looking in the mirror and seeing more, seeing what might actually be true, seeing how we are actually creating that, then suddenly we're not giving our power away anymore. Then suddenly I have power to shift my experience. And this is where I learned that in India, really stretching who I was, because of course there's going to be tension. Of course, when we are stretching into a new version of ourselves, we're growing. There's going to be growing pains. There's going to be tension in the body, in the mind, but the soul is going to love it either way. And that's the path. That is the path less traveled. It's just learning how to work with and take care of ourselves in those times when we're stretching and so much is happening and we're expanding and evolving so much. So I hope that you were able to take something away from this. I hope definitely give yourself a chance to journal and check in with yourself. What in your external reality right now that you don't like, what problem is showing up, what challenge, what thing is draining your energy, and how are you creating that? That would be a good question to start off with. If you are interested in learning more about the path less traveled and how you can create a life on your terms, redefine success, and truly live a life that's authentic to you in your full potential, then you can shoot me a message. You can DM me on Instagram. You can comment below and we can get in contact. And I've got a program that I'm in the process of creating, and I'd love for you to be a part of it if you're interested, if you're feeling called to live outside of the box and break out of what is normal and typical and comfortable. So yeah, that's what I got to say. If you love this, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. It would mean a lot, and it really supports everything that I'm creating in the world. I really appreciate you, and thank you for taking the time to grow. I love you guys, and we'll talk soon. Peace.